So I just finished putting a roof rack on my Tesla Model 3. If you didn't see that video, make sure you go check it out. It's on the channel. It's so sick. These are custom white roof racks that I did myself. So now, what do we have going on the roof rack? Something I picked up from LASFIT. So you might know LASFIT from their floor mats, and they're super good, but did you know they make lighting accessories as well? That's actually what they make most of. And I travel a lot, sometimes through areas where the headlamps don't project enough light, which sucks because then, I can't really see too much and it's a bit hard to drive. It truly is. So what is better than a light bar? Now you might be wondering, why is it orange? And I want you to know that if you don't like the orange, they sell just regular white ones. They sell amber, white, yellow, all the stuff. So you got tons of options. So why did I go for the orange, the amber? Well, I would have loved to match the white theme and gotten a white one, but amber helps you with low visibility and like snow and heavy rain, bad weather, and it's just better that way. So I thought from a more practicality standpoint, I don't know what I just said, but more practically, I got the amber one. So let's open this and see what hardware is included. First off, little instruction manual, bottom brackets, more bottom brackets, as well as side brackets. I'm assuming somehow these are going to attach to the roof rack. Now I also have this, and it's basically a relay, fuse, switch, some long wiring, and it is waterproof. So if you look at the plugs, it's got rubber around it, so we're good. This is gonna plug into the light bar, and then we're gonna run it into the cabin so we can provide it with some power. We're gonna get all of this set up together. Let me just go through it and see the logistics of how to get this from the ground off the car to on the car. I have no clue what I'm doing. So I'm back inside because I couldn't figure exactly how to put it on my roof rack because the roof rack's kind of sloped. I think I might have to make a custom bracket for it. But before we do that, let's open it up, right? I mean, we're trying to figure this out together. So I thought, hey, I might as well just open it up together with you guys. The foam is kind of hard to get out from around this plug right here. Oh, maybe I should just be sliding it down this end. That makes more sense. Much easier. That was embarrassing. All right, ready? Ooh. Dang! Okay, I don't think I needed it to be this big. They actually, okay, to LASFIT's credit, they told me that I should go with the smaller one. I told them no. So, I should have listened to them. This is my fault. If it doesn't fit, that's on me. Oh, this looks so flippin' legit though, right? I'm so hyped. Okay. How does this work? I don't know what I'm doing. I guess this is where I read the instruction manual. Oh, shoot. Okay, I got it. This is awesome. Okay, these instructions are legit. These aren't your like horrible Chinese instructions that you can't even read unless you're Chinese. But basically there's two ways to mount this. So there's the way to do it on the sides, which I don't think I can do because my roof is curved, right? So there's the way to do it from the bottom. And I think this is the way that we're gonna have to do it. I don't think I have to take my roof rack off for this, but for surely I'm going to need to mount it not on the edges, kind of more towards the middle, because remember it slopes on the sides. And then we have this wiring diagram, which is super nice and it's actually super simple. It's pretty much plugging in that relay into the light bar wire and then into the switch. And then you have your fuse that connects to the battery. It's pretty simple. I love simplicity, especially with things like this. It's not plug and play by any means, but it just makes the DIY process so much more friendlier. Thank you, LASFIT. All right, so if you know anything about me, I'm an impatient guy and I can't wait. I can't wait to get this mounted on my car. So I have a test battery right here, which we are going to plug this into the output. We have the ground and the hot, which I'm just going to be holding. They're right next to each other, so this isn't the best idea. So don't do this at home, but like, it's okay. Okay, well, it's connected, right? Okay. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's so bright. Oh my gosh. Off? Yeah? Okay, watch the camera light change. Are you ready? Oh. This is so cool, eh? Imagine driving down the road with this bad boy. Holy goodness. It's pulling about 120 to 130 watts right now. My cat just does not like it. It's so bright. He's moving away. This thing is legit. But don't worry, Oliver, it's off, right? I got you, it's off. Now I gotta go console my cat. All right, so we're going to modify the wiring so that we can fit this to this power supply that I have. It's an AC to DC converter because I have a lot of AC ports on my external battery, not a lot of DC. Also, if you hear that rattling, that's my dog. He's right there. So the wiring from the kit through this relay comes with these two power terminals, and they're great if you want to attach them to a battery. They have these rings, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I have this quick disconnect kit. I'll have it in the description below the like button. It's awesome because this is just going to be temporary. This thing is huge. I do not need a power supply this big. And I'm going to be switching out the battery to where it's DC only, and I just use an inverter, smaller one if I want to use AC. Anyways, enough with that mumbo jumbo. Let's start cutting these. All we're going to do is just snip right here. I just like shot it at the camera, and then we'll do the same thing where we snip right here. I just shot it at the camera again. Now we need to pull back some of the insulation to see what gauge of wire we have. Oh, perfect, it tells us what gauge. So these are both 12 gauge wire. Use my trusty wire strippers, and then we're just going to strip a little bit of away of both of these wires. Boom, we got some exposed silver on the end. Actually, even though it says 12 gauge, it can still fit, barely, but it can still fit into the 1416 one. So we have this one right here. I can see the wire coming out of it, and now it's just time to crimp it down. All right, I feel pretty good with that one. I'm just gonna do the same thing for the red one. Boom, all right, so both of these are done. It's awesome that they also have the insulation on them, this time with male ends. And this is coming out of the power supply. Make sure you do the tug test after these. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. All right, so with that done, it's time to connect these two. For my set, brown is positive and blue is negative, so we're gonna correspond with the black and red that's coming out of the LASFIT module. All right, and that's pretty much it. And I need to seal off these two ends because do not want them contacting. That's how you cause a short. Notice how my roof racks are back inside? Yeah, so it's a bit hard to mount it on the front. I think I sent a little clip, a video of it to my friend. I'll put it in the video right now, so you'll see that. I have a really big problem. So you can see my roof racks are inside. The front one, this is how it sits on the front one, right? So it has these bars that go on it. But because it's so sloped, you see how like that edge, it's so sloped. Once I get it in, there's not exactly a way for me to tighten it, which is wild. Like I legitimately can't tighten these down on the bottom part. So even though it's tight on the back, it still like wiggles because of the curvature of this. So now I have this back one. This is the back one. And it's like, oh, am I only gonna have one rack? I don't know how this is gonna look. Probably is better for aero, but like. All right, now that you know that we might not be using this at all, I think we're only gonna use this back one. So we're going to put it on the high setting and then kind of just angle it down. Think that's gonna work? Check this out. What I used is this 14mm size, and I tightened this down. Now, you can't tighten it down just by itself. So I used the screw, and I used underneath that a locking nut as well as a washer. It's not gonna focus, but trust me. And then I put a pad under there. And then under here, I used the washer, the locking nut, and then the nut to tighten it. And it holds it pretty snugly. You can see this part right here is squished down, which is good. And now we're just gonna do the same for that other side. We're just gonna push it in a little bit, and we're pointing the front end this way. That way I have enough clearance, because this 42 inches barely, I mean barely fits on here. And then I have like a finger space away from the edge, and now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down. So on my drill, I'm gonna load my 14mm, and then from there, I need to hold the bottom nut while I tighten this. Otherwise it's just gonna spin forever. Just like that. We don't want that. Now that's slightly tightened, I'm gonna have to press it in. So I'll get one of my adapters and just block off the nut from twisting. That's basically all we're doing. Okay, that is pretty tight. Now I just need to basically shimmy this over onto the pad and then rotate it so that it's facing the correct way. All right, there we go. All right, that looks good. All right, that is super tight. That is not going anywhere. Super important, you want to make sure the locking nuts are locked on there. And then same thing, we're gonna go ahead and check the bottom ones as well, the ones inside. All right, from there, both are super locked into place. It's time to mount our Lightbar. I'm so excited for this, guys. All right, so we'll take this and then we're going to put these side bolts in, and that's going to be what's holding the Lightbar to your roof racks. I'm using this set of sockets right here, as well as these adapters with my drill. I love all of this equipment. If you have any questions about it, please leave a comment below. I'll point you in the right direction where to get this awesome stuff. But we need a bit for here, so let me go grab that. All right, it's the size 40 of one of these little star looking ones. That's the one you're gonna look for. And I can put it in my drill because I have this handy adapter. Okay, before we tighten it all the way, we're just gonna leave it loose right here and then go to the other side. So just like the other one, this one has the washer as well as the locking nut, and then, you know, the bolt head itself. Boom! And we are in. And so I think the car kind of slopes back like this. So we do want it facing down a little bit, but not too much, because we don't want it shooting at the glass roof. Okay. I think we are good then. Heck yeah. Come on, let's go outside. I want to show you guys what it looks like at night. I'm not going to turn it on though, because first off, my neighbors, it's really late and I don't want to blind them in the windows. But check it out, guys. You have the Lightbar right here. I'm not going to put the front rack on, and that's just because, remember, it's sloped. So it's, yeah, I might try to put the front rack on and see if it blocks any of the light. Honestly, I doubt it. So maybe I'll add it. It just depends on how it looks. What do you guys think? Should I add the front rack back on? In the video, it doesn't look that great, but in person, honestly, just that second row, it's a kind of a vibe, low key. I'm digging it, actually. I'm personally digging it. I think my car needs to be more flat. It's like on a slope right now, so a little bit of bias that way. Okay, yeah, we'll just do that. I think it looks fine. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, there's not a great way to hide this wire. So what I'm gonna do essentially is zip tie it to the white right here, to the roof rack. I'm going to run it along this seam. Now, unfortunately, the wire is too thick to actually fit inside the seam. Okay, so back outside, I mounted the roof rack. I've mounted this obviously to the top, so it's sitting up here. So the wire that's coming out of the Lightbar, I just wrapped it around here, connected the plug. I'm doing that because this part of the wire right here is thinner than this one, and this one actually fits perfectly in the seam between the glass and the body, the A-pillar. So I'm basically just going to run that all the way down here. Now the correct way to do it would be to puncture a hole in here and then wire this through and then put some silicone on it to patch it up. I'm not gonna do that because this is temporary. I really gotta get this done before I leave. I'll do that later. I have a lot more I have to do for this Canada trip. So it's just gonna run down here. I don't expect it to rain too much, so I don't have a problem with the weather sealing, and you know, it's rubber on rubber, so it is totally fine. Now pressing the button, we'll turn it on. It is the brightest part of the day and you can still see the LEDs, so this is it off and this is it on. Check that out, guys. What? Look at how flippin' bright that is. I am in love. So temporarily, again, temporarily, this switch right here is the on and off. Thank goodness the wire is super long, because I'm just gonna run it up here and it's just gonna kind of sit up here for me to turn it on and off. Like that. It's temporary, guys. It's temporary. And if we look at the back, this is the trunk area. We can't see any light leakage. Great. Means we're still sealed up in there, and you can see it's in between the two rubber pieces, and then the wires also have lots of insulation on it, so I'm not worried on that aspect. Okay, so I thought going from here along the side was the move, but it's totally not. You're definitely going to want to come straight down this way, and on top of things, it's going to make it easier for when you do puncture that hole through. And just make sure it sits on like this and just go straight in temporarily. Again, remember, guys, it's temporarily. Puncture a hole through here and then silicone it back up. I'm definitely going to do that, I promise you. That is what's needed, but let's see it close, and you can see it goes in there, no problem. And this is just rubber right here. And then remember, for the trunk, it has rubber here and then rubber here. I guess when you open it, it does get caught, so just keep that in mind whenever you open your closing trunk with this temporary setup. But super easy. All you're gonna want to do is just lay it back down in between the seams right here, just like that, and then we will pull it tight right here, because typically, remember, from like right there, you'd be going in right here, but I think now we can actually just close it in here like this. So So let's go ahead and do that. Everything looks pretty good, except that it gets caught right here. You don't want it to get caught right there. You can see it's really pinching the wire on the corner. So let's open it and try again. This wire, you're gonna want it to be going past this piece right here. For both the temporary and long-term setup, you don't want it to get pinched on that corner. So what we can do is, as this is closing, we can hold this up. And now it's closed in between the rubber, and there's a little bit of give on the wire for the rubber and the insulation on the wire right there. All right, guys, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is the LASFIT 42-inch light bar that's installed on my Tesla.